Please help me welcome the Executive Director from Meals on Wheels of East Texas, Tiffany Damskov.
Thank you, Donna, and thank you all for having me here today. I hope to share with you a little bit about Meals on Wheels and what we're doing and where we're going and all the goals that we have and that we're striving to accomplish. But first I want to start with a story. There was a gentleman about 20 years ago, and it was about lunchtime, and he fell and hit his head and was not able to get up back into his chair. And he knew that soon someone would be knocking on the door to bring him his meal. So he managed to crawl to the door and open the door, or at least turn the knob so he could get that door open so that Meals on Wheels volunteer could bring him his meal, because that was the most important part, is so he could see that person and to have that meal. And that person that life was saved that day by a Meals on Wheels volunteer. And that life that was saved was a family member of mine in Norman, Oklahoma. Like I said, it was over 20 years ago, and little did I know that I would have the opportunity to work for Meals on Wheels all these years later. So with that, Meals on Wheels is more than just a meal. And for nearly 50 years, we have been serving nutritious meals in East Texas. It's more than a meal. It's a safety check, it's a friendly smile, and it's an opportunity to extend dignity and an opportunity for seniors to live longer in their own homes. We currently serve over 2,500 seniors in 6 counties, and that's about 12,500 meals a week and over 50,000 meals a month. We served nearly 700,000 meals last year, and we are striving to grow that and extend into one more additional county. We deliver 4 hot meals and 1 frozen meal every week. Each day we serve a hot meal, and on Thursday we deliver a hot meal and a frozen meal so they can consume that frozen meal on Friday. And that eliminating 1 day of service happened several years ago when the fuel prices went up. So that saved us right now, so we're only delivering 4 days a week. And it all starts at 4 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Thursday. Our kitchen staff arrives and they start preparing and fixing the meals for 2 services that roll off of our line. One at 8:30, where most of the majority of our meals roll off the line, and those meals are picked up and delivered across the counties in East Texas. And then at about 10:15, we have another service that rolls off the line, and that's all of our volunteer route meals that are picked up in Tyler, Texas. And they all do originate in Tyler in our 6,000 square foot kitchen, and it's a pretty impressive kitchen. I would love to offer tours. If anybody is in the area, just give me a call and I'll give you a tour. We serve meals in about 2,500 square miles, and we're about to extend that to the Marshall area with some additional funding from the state. That includes close to 700,000 people, and about 150,000 of those people are seniors over 65. Let me break it down just a little bit so you can relate it to Upshur County and Gregg County. There are about 165,000 people in Gregg and Upshur counties. Close to 40,000 of those people are 65 and over. And they tell us that about 9% of seniors live in poverty in that area, and 1 in 4 live alone. We serve currently about 700 Gregg and Upshur County seniors. And if you do the math, that's about 2,500 seniors that could potentially need our services because they are living in poverty or they're living alone, may not have access to food or transportation to get to those meals. So that's where more advocates in the community come into play. Before the pandemic, the numbers were pretty bad, but they tell us that 75% more seniors need us after the pandemic because they are confined to their homes. They're now, with the fuel going up, they have less means to purchase food or to get to places where they can purchase food. Food insecurity is significant in our communities, and we know it's growing every single day. We are all struggling with the fuel cost, and you see it at the grocery store, at the restaurants. Everything has gone up. So you can imagine, if you're living on Social Security, how that would impact someone who has a limited income. That problem of food insecurity can cause other health issues such as depression, heart attacks, asthma, and congestive heart failure. So it's important that we provide a nutritious meal to seniors so that they can stay in their homes longer and prevent some of those other health issues. So I'll say it again, Meals on Wheels is more than just a meal. It's a safety check. We become the eyes and the ears for family members who can't check on their loved ones every day. Some of them live in other states, and they want that security and that sense of that security that their loved one is being checked on every single day. And our volunteers become family members to those seniors. They adopt them as their own grandparent. And I was very thankful that that person was able to save my grandfather's life all those years ago. And they looked forward to seeing those people every day. My grandmother was always thankful to have somebody else to talk to other than my grandfather. And he wanted the meal because it was something my grandmother didn't fix. And we hear lots of stories about that in East Texas, people that have stumbled upon seniors who maybe their health is altered a little bit, or maybe they just need a few repairs in the house. Maybe they need a new ramp, or their door fixed so that their air isn't all going out the door. We are a friendly face and just a little bit of a conversation with someone who may not have anybody else to talk to during the week. Sometimes our volunteers and our drivers are the only people that our seniors talk to in a given day. And sometimes the only person they'll talk to all week. So you can imagine being confined to your home and not having the opportunity to associate and talk to other people in your churches or your Rotary clubs. So that conversation helps bring purpose to their lives. We provide, thirdly, that nutritious meal, and that is very important. It helps their medications work better. It keeps them out of the ER and unnecessary office visits, doctor's visits. The price of 1 year of senior meals is the equivalent to 10 days in a skilled nursing facility and 1 day in the hospital. A whole year of meals is the equivalent to 1 day in the hospital. So you can see how important that is. We want seniors to be able to stay in their homes by feeding them, checking on them, and also connecting them to other services in the community that they may not ever have connections to. We are currently partnering with Path and Tyler, and we're providing our seniors with a fan so they can stay cooler. And we all know that this heat can be damaging to our health, and it can be even deadly. So we're offering fans to our clients so they don't have to worry about turning their air down and having that high electric bill. And we also have connected seniors with other organizations that can help them build ramps, that can help them mow their yards, and all of those things help them stay in their homes longer. And we do surveys every year, and 80% of our clients have said that they feel safer and they feel more independent because of Meals on Wheels. 12,000 Americans turn 60 every single day. And so our goal is to figure out what we can do to accommodate all of those people that are getting older each day. So we are getting the word out, and that's part of the reason why I'm in front of you today, because we need more advocates in the community, because there's a lot of seniors that don't know about us. They don't know how to find us or to get the services that they need. And that means they're malnourished, they're not having conversation every day, and they're not connected to the other sources in the community that can help them. We are also doing more to encourage volunteers and to teach younger people about giving back in the community. We've even started encouraging our young people to volunteer with their grandparents and their parents. So we've offered an incentive. It's just a shirt, but it's something that we are offering all of our younger volunteers. And we're also teaching them about giving back. And we worked with a local private school to make donation boxes for our younger volunteers to teach them about giving back in their communities. I don't know about you, but I didn't know anything about giving to anybody except for the church when I was younger. So it's definitely a good idea to teach our young people about giving back. We're striving to connect with other people in the community, because it is very important that we work together and grow the number of advocates in our communities. We're working with the Upshur County Community Fund and other united ways to get the word out, and also to help us with funding, because it does take a lot of money to feed 2,500 seniors every day. And we also have 62 vehicles that we have on the road every day. And those are driven by paid people. And we have over 350 active volunteers. So you can imagine if we had to hire that many people and put them on the road and pay for their fuel. So volunteers are a very important part of our organization. And that is how many people can get involved, is by volunteering in the community. And we have currently 22 sites across 6 counties. And as I said, we're going to grow that into one more county in Harrison County. But we have a site right here in Gilmer, Texas, and we have several paid drivers at that site, but we are always looking for volunteers. And as Rotarians, we know that service is above self. So if you are looking for opportunities to volunteer or to get involved, that is one way you can get involved with Meals on Wheels. But there's also other ways you can get involved. You can tell people about Meals on Wheels. Tell them that if there's someone you know that's over 60 that has limited access to food or transportation to purchase food, that we can help them out. Also, we have temporary services for people that are disabled. Maybe you're just going through rehab and can't drive for 6 weeks. We can provide a meal. As long as they're 60 or over, we can hook you up. We can deliver to you 4 days a week. One of the reasons why we are partnering with other agencies is because we've discovered there's lots of gaps in the services in our communities. We were just speaking about this earlier. People don't know where to go to get help. They know they need help, but they don't know how to get that help. And our new partnership with PATH has given us the opportunity to reach out to those people that are coming into the food pantries and to connect them with services so they don't have to go to the food pantry to pick up their meals. We can take a food box to them with their Meals on Wheels meal, so that cuts down on the transportation. They can use that fuel to get to the doctor instead of using it to go to the food pantry. And they are more likely to go out and go to the doctor or go to the grocery store if they don't have to make that extra step. And we also connect people with resources to pay their bills. And if they're not receiving Meals on Wheels, they may not know about those resources. And part of our job is to make sure that they're getting all the help that they need. So again, it's more than just a meal. And not a lot of people know this, but we also will feed their four-legged companions. We have a program called Meals for Pets, F-U-R, Pets. And that's a partnership that was started in 2014 with Pets for People, the Humane Society in Smith County. And it started out of a need that was discovered by a volunteer. A volunteer noticed that several of her clients were feeding their Meals on Wheels meals to their pets. They'd find them on the porch. So that means that the senior is not getting the nutrition that they need because they're taking care of their baby. Because that's what we do, we take care of our children first, right? Well, so we decided to partner with the Humane Society in Smith County, and once a month we deliver pet food to the clients who have identified to have dogs or cats. And I just met with the executive director at Pets for People last week, and we are going to start connecting more seniors to services and get services to them for their pets too, by getting them clipped or getting them flea and tick meds, getting them spayed or neutered so they can continue to take care of those pets. Because I don't know if you heard the story recently, people are surrendering their pets because they can't afford them. And we know that our seniors, they need that companionship, even if it's from a little fuzzy animal. And so we're striving to extend that one more service that can help them stay in their homes longer and feel more secure. We also have a new project called Cheerful Chats. And we started that because we don't see our seniors on the weekends, or we might have a long weekend where we're not seeing them on Friday and Monday. And we want to be able to check on them. Because if we're not seeing them Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and a holiday on Monday, chances are nobody else is either. And we need to make sure that they're okay, that they have enough food, that they have the AC on, and that they don't need something else like a doctor's visit or something repaired. So we've started this program, and this is for maybe volunteers who don't want to drive, but they want to pick up the phone and check in on one of our seniors. And it's a very important program, not only because it's part of our requirements for our state funding to check on clients more than 3 days a week, but also to make sure that they're okay. Because if my grandfather fell and my grandmother wasn't there and no one came for 3 days, he would have died. And it happens, we hear it all the time. So if we're checking on them and no one's answering and we have an emergency contact for them, we can get them the help that they need. More than just a meal. You come get it and we'll take it to auction, and we get 70% of what it brings at auction. It goes right back into the organization. So I've got little cards here, so if there's that car in the neighborhood, you can just slip one of these in the windshield and maybe they'll get the point. We also have planned giving. We have peer-to-peer fundraisers. We just recently did some fuel campaigns, which have been very successful. We were able to extend fuel cards to our volunteers because we had several volunteers that they volunteer 2 to 4 days a week, and they might drive 20 or 30 miles if they're in some of the rural areas each time once they get there and the round trip. So we were able to extend fuel cards to those volunteers. We also participate in other fundraisers like Giving Tuesday, and we apply for a lot of grants. And there's lots of other ways that you can give back. And visit our website. You can follow us on Facebook. Get the word out and let people know that we're there. So you can see we're being very proactive to try to accommodate the growing senior population in our area. And I hope that you, if nothing else, will be equipped to let people know what we're doing. Tell them about the senior services, the Meals for Pets program, the Adopt a Grandparent program that we just relaunched this month. It was a very successful campaign many years ago, so we're bringing it back to life. So there's an opportunity to adopt a grandparent, even just one. And I hope that you will continue to get the word out and help me, because I'm only one person, but if each of you will tell one person, that's one more person that will know. Tell your church. tell your buddy, tell your friend next door that we are there for them and we can help, because we are more than just a meal. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, Brandon?
You mentioned the last time that we met, you gave some numbers, and if you have those with you, in Upshur County alone, how many people are you guys currently feeding, and what is the cost for that? It's pretty astounding.
Oh, well, it costs us about $8.75 per meal. And I don't have just the Upshur County numbers, but it's significant. And I just increased that number from $8.25 to $8.75 because of fuel. And we took a 10% increase in the food cost. Our food service provider is a third party that comes into our kitchen and prepares the meals and purchases all the food. So they passed on their rising costs to us. But it is significant. And that's why the volunteers are so valuable, because that volunteer hour is, the state puts about $12 an hour on it. The national average is $29.50 an hour for a volunteer. So they're worth a lot. And that's over $400,000 worth of volunteer time that we had last year alone. Any other questions?
Run us through a day for Upshur County. Some food shows up somewhere.
Okay, so at 4 o'clock in the morning in Tyler, Texas, they start production. They start cooking the meals, prepping the vegetables, doing all that, and they run it down a line, and they put it in a plastic container. Kind of looks like a TV dinner. Tastes a little bit better than that. I eat them every day. It's shrink wrapped, and they receive a meal that is designed by a registered dietitian, and it also comes with a bread and a milk, and sometimes a dessert, because we have to stay within a certain calorie count and sugar and sodium and everything. And those meals will leave Tyler, Texas in a van, and they will come to Upshur County, and we have a site right here in Gilmer, and I think we have 8 vehicles, 8 paid drivers in Gilmer, and they will come to the site in Gilmer and pick up those meals, and they will take them to their clients. And a typical route is about 15 to 20 stops in the county. And they deliver those meals around lunchtime. We have a window between 11 and 1 that we have to deliver those meals because of obvious reasons, keeping them hot and safe for consumption. We do have bricks that we heat up to keep those meals warm and they go into insulated coolers from Tyler to Gilmer so that they stay warm. And our volunteers all get an insulated bag, and they take those meals to their clients from the volunteer routes as well. And most of them receive their meals by 1 o'clock, as long as everything goes well with the production and the weather cooperates. Did you have a question, Donna?
Oh, I was, you had kind of mentioned what the meal consisted of, and you had already answered.
Yeah, there's a protein, a vegetable, a bread. Sometimes there's 2 vegetables, but they do look at the calorie count, and it has to be a certain size protein every day and so many vegetables. Any other questions? All right.
Tiffany, to show our gratitude for you and for coming here today, especially as a Rotarian from South Tyler, we'd like to present you with the Gilmer Rotary banner.
Thank you. I have one for you too.